Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is a Rinoceronte. It's a tier 10 Italian heavy tank with an auto reloader. It's located on the southwest spawn of Arctic region, and this one is under the command of Twist3dRaptur, and alongside him is Oppenheimer in the VK7201K and Chucky Claw in the T110E3. Well, those people who've actually got to tier 10 on the Italian line say that this is a diabolical tank. It's actually a tank with no crew members in the turret. Yep, it's got an oscillating gun as well, as you can see there, which moves up and down. So the crew are actually in the hull. Got the commander on the right hand side, we've got the gunner on the left hand side, and the driver's right in the centre. But it is an auto reloader, and it does take an awful long time to load its shells, so it can be a bit difficult. It's got a 127 caliber gun, capable of doing 490 alpha, and it will penetrate through 268mm of armor with standard ammo. The trouble is the reload time. It takes forever to reload. It's 45 seconds actually if you want to get, or more than 45 seconds if you want to get a reload. Yeah, he went for a swim there because his teammate got in the way, but he's up and running. Now this was the design from the 1960s and 1970s, and they made it because they wanted to build a tank that could be good on ridge lines in a hull down position. Puts one into the cram bomb, but it's a low roll. Go for it again. Yep, it's another hit. Low roll again. Go for it. And he gets the third shot in, but now he has to pull back and reload, and well, he's got a wreck he can reload behind now. The Leopard's given up his life to allow Twist3dRaptur to get his shells back in. Meanwhile, Oppenheimer was being used as a human shield by one of the other teammates. Not very nice. He's lost half his hit points already, and he's losing some more now. And we still haven't even loaded our first new shell. Okay, well, we bounced the shell from the 705, but we need another shell. Oh, Oppenheimer died just before we got our shell in, and the Supercox died as well. So all we've got now is Chucky Claw and the remaining teammates, but I don't think our cram bomb's going to last very long, because he's only got 96 hit points left. The original design was actually a German tank called the Kampfpanzer III, or Dry. It was discontinued at the drafting stage, so they never actually got to a completed tank. But it's an interesting design because, of course, there is now a tank which actually doesn't have any crew members in the turret, and it's Russian. Yes, the T-14 Armata, but it doesn't work, and that's why we haven't seen any in the recent conflict. Well, he's pumped one round into the Jaeger's lower plate, and he pumps the second round in and gets a high roll on that one. Oh, the third round didn't pen, so he didn't get that one in. I'm doing my best to drown out Chuck Norris. Now this tank does have a rather small hit point pool. It's kind of on the paw, on the move when it comes to aiming, and it's got bad gun handling on the move, but other than that, when it's hull down, it's very good. Good alpha, good penetration, good aim time and accuracy, but it's just absolutely dreadful on the reload, and that's why so many people have trouble with it. Now there is a weak spot from the front. Although it's very solid armour, there's a little box on top of the gun. If you can hit that, that's part of the hitbox, and that will put the tank out of action or could damage it. And there's a couple of viewports as well. One on one side is smaller than the other. The one on this side is for the commander, and the one on the other side is for the gunner. And there goes the 114 SP2 and the Leopard, just like that. Well, they're 5 tanks up on the enemy. Oh, he took a hit in the viewport. Yep, straight through the viewport. The gunner couldn't see that one. Okay, he's got a full load of in the magazine, and he's pushing ahead. Looks like the enemy's trying to make a solid defense. I think their Leopard's pulled back near the Griller. There he is. Yeah. Thought he was over there, because otherwise he should have been back at the pass. Tried to get one into the Griller, couldn't. Can he get one into the Leopard? Yes, that's good, but it's a low roll. Okay, he's working with the Chieftain at the moment. He's got a more conventional armour and a more conventional turret, and a faster reload, of course. Okay, so letting Chucky Core go ahead. He's got armour in the right places. Well, this thing has as well, but obviously only works really well on ridgelines. And now we've got a problem, because the Guerrilla's actually over to one side, and we're kind of caught in the crossfire. We've got 3 shells ready to go. Biz 55 takes the first one. Is it Mr. Leopard's next? Yes, it is Leopard. But unfortunately, we just took 3 rounds, including one from the Biz 55. There's the Guerrilla. Oh, Guerrilla's gone. Okay, so we're now clear to move. Just go for the... Oh, we're waiting for that shell again. Here it goes. And the Biz 55 is destroyed. And he's got a kill. And that's it. The game's over. They just killed the T-22 med. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was the first class tank for Twist3dRaptur in the Rinoceronte. What he describes as a very bad tank, but they did dominate. They really did. They pushed the enemy and they tried to maximise the damage. He managed to get a first class. He got a fire for effect for doing more damage to the hit points of his own vehicle, and he got a bruise medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In this one he managed to get 8, and his win rate was quite high, 4,872, because he was really getting some good shots on the enemy whilst he was in a hull down position. Let's have a look at team score. Well, the damage he did was 6,096 hit points, but no high caliber in this one. The second highest damage went to Chucky Claw with 5,538. And the third highest damage went to that Chieftain with 4,055. Oppenheimer died fairly early on. Obviously, he got kind of caught as a human meat shield by one of our tanks. The Viz 55, I think, was pushing him ahead. And of course, he got taken out by that Super Conqueror who was pumping rounds into him. He only got 1,879 in this game. When it came to kills, it was the Chucky Claw who managed to get 3 kills in the game. Nobody on the enemy team managed to get more than 1 kill. There was only 4 players who actually got kills at all. The Chieftain got 2, so did the CS63 and the Viz 55. And we can see that Twist3dRaptur got 1 kill out of that one. And so did Oppenheimer. And when it came to base XP, well, it's Chucky Claw got the top one with that one with 1,190. 1,167 went to Twist3dRaptur, and well, we can see that Oppenheimer's a little way down the table with 746, but it's still pretty good score, all things considered. He fired 15 rounds in that game, got 14 direct hits and 13 penetration. You can see how long it takes to reload, because he was trying to use those shells as soon as they were available, but it's just a slow reload. It's a slog to get those shells in. 6,096 hit points, all of it done at close range. 7 hits received from the enemy, but only 3 of them actually penetrated. But he did take some big hits, including one from that Viz 55, and yeah, lost over half of his hit points in the game. 4 non-penetrations as well during that game. 1,370 hit points of damage blocked by armor. He spotted 1 enemy vehicle, damaged 5 of the enemy, killed 1, and 306 hit points of damage assistance. He earned 80,507 credits from the battle, 65,000 for mission completion, a total of 145,507 credits altogether, and after repair, ammunition, resupply and consumables, took away profit of 71,189 credits. He got 7 bonds for it being a tier 10 game, and 1,750 XP times 2 for the first victory, 3,501 experience points altogether. Well, what can I tell you? It's just a very poor tank actually overall. Unless you're in a hold down position, you really can suffer in this tank actually. And well, the reload is where you suffer because despite the fact that he's got a terrible reload, he still managed to get the highest damage, but didn't get a high caliber. And I don't know why. I think it may have been that when he actually went over or past one of his teammates, he maybe nudged them in such a way as that that disqualified him from getting a high caliber. Either that or he didn't get 20% of the enemy hit pool, but I can't believe that 6,000 hit points is not 20%. So anyway, let's have a look at the armor. Okay, we'll start with the collision model so you can actually get an idea. You can see that it's, well, very flat turret with that oscillating gun. And on this side you've got that viewport for the commander. It's up high so you can see for a new target. The gunner's on this side. That's the weak spot there. That's part of the hitbox, and that's the point you should aim for because it's only 120 millimeters of armor, effective 174, but that is part of the hitbox, and that's fairly easy to hit in a hold down position. If this thing is actually hold down on you and it's only the gun, if I can get it to do this, I think it's like this. That's it. If you're looking at it like that, you can see all you're seeing is angled armor. It's very difficult to hit, but look at that little protrusion right on top of the gun. That sticks out like a sore thumb. That's the weak spot you should aim for if you want to try and take down one of these if it's in a hold down position, because otherwise you're going to have a devil of a time trying to get at them. Anyway, the armor at the front, we can see it's 190 millimeters lower plate, works out 246, upper plate 135 but works out 230. Turret is still penetrable even though there's nobody in it. Impacted armor 190 but 270 millimeters, so it's very strong on the turret. And on the sides, well, nicely angled as well, you can see, so rounds are more likely to ricochet off. And you've got a 75 millimeter side with 102 effective angling, and on the sides of the turret 120 millimeters coming out of the 120 because it's kind of slab sided. And on the rear, much easier to penetrate around here, 40 millimeters works out at 50 millimeters. Back of the engine 20 millimeters, so if you can get behind a Rinoceronte you're going to have a field day because it'll just be perforated like a sieve. So that's the collision model. Let's have a look at the live model again because that gentleman wanted to see it. Yeah, these are all the things that you can hit. Part of the hitbox will actually do some damage, and you can see that the driver up here, the gunner that side, commander that side, all in the hull, all snug and like there's a bug in together. And in fact, actually, I have the feeling that this kind of design had a lot to do with the T14 or vice versa. You know, that maybe Wargaming actually came up with this design after seeing what the design for the Armata was. Anyway, let's have a look at the modules. And it's a bit disappointing because unfortunately, yeah, there's no module map. The Wargaming haven't supplied anything, and there's nothing to compare it with because, of course, it's an unusual design. So all that we can tell is the driver is right in the center. We can tell the gunner's on the left-hand side, the commander's on the right-hand side. It's an auto reloader, which means there has to be shells in the bustle for the processing of the shells into the breech. And also that means there should be an ammo rack somewhere down below the actual rear of the turret. The engine's in the rear, and of course it's very vulnerable because of that thin armor. And if it follows normal tanks, then it will be an engine sandwiched by two fuel tanks. But again, we can't be absolutely certain. All we know is that there's 3 crew members in this tank, and definitely the driver's up front. And well, these ones, you know, I'm working on the basis that the higher the periscope, the more senior the command of the rank of the person in the vehicle. So obviously the commanding officer would have to be the one with the highest periscope to see where all the targets are. So that's, I'm afraid, all I can give you on the modules. So well done to Twist3dRaptur for using a really bad tank to get a good result. I'm a bit, it's a bit sad that he didn't get the high caliber. I'll have to look back through that replay and see if I can find out where he lost it. But it appears that, yeah, 6,000 hit points wasn't enough for a high caliber. I mean, how the hell is that not enough? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.